again.
Welcome back to the Reverbium podcast. The last time for now, we're on episode 50, and we'll be taking a prolonged break from the podcast to focus on other stuff, like Formula One videos, which I have spent all day editing, and due to a technical error within my recording software, has led me to take several hours longer than I wanted it to. And I'm still not done, but we're here. Yeah, we'll be focusing on Formula One content, other gaming content, and we'll be going from there. For one more time, my name is Jimmy.
I'm Sean.
Yeah, that's the boy Sean.
It's your boy Sean.
It's your boy Sean. We don't really have a main topic this week, so we're just going to talk about the Olympics at the end. Just give a rundown of like the list, the medal list, and what Team GB has been up to, which I'll let Sean get up on his phone while I talk about other stuff.
So what am I getting up?
What the medals that Team GB have won, what
Okay.
sports. But anyway, we'll start off with some TV movie news, and I'll go through my list for that. The new Dragon Ball movie has been announced and has been titled as Dragon Ball Superhero, and it will be released in 2022. No exact release date. But yeah, that's thing. Michael B. Jordan has been rumoured to be playing Superman for a while now. We talked about it about probably 5-10 podcasts back, something in between that. And it has, still a report, but it's been specified that this project will be for HBO Max. It's not known whether it will be a film or a TV series, but it will focus on the character of Val-Zod, not Clark Kent. Thankfully, they are taking they must have watched the podcast and listened to the rant that I had about them using characters that they should be using. It will be Val-Zod is basically Clark or Kal-El's foster brother, and he's a Kryptonian from Earth 2. So yeah, if that comes to fruition, that is what we'll be seeing. What else is on this list? Dexter, the revival of Dexter. There was a final trailer released, I believe, first full teaser trailer. Yeah. And the show will air on Showtime on November 7th. So any Dexter fans out there you go. Check out the teaser trailer and be excited for the return in November. Next up, we have a Pokemon series, a live-action Pokemon series, Sean. Do you believe it?
I don't believe it.
Yeah, apparently, according to reports, there is a Pokemon series in works at Netflix by the co-showrunner of Lucifer, Joe Henderson. I like Lucifer. I like Pokemon. Cool. I mean, we don't know if this will 100% come out, but it seems likely, so I am excited. Next up, WWE news. We all love a bit of WWE news, but this has nothing to do with wrestling, Sean.
Woo!
WWE and Blumhouse have partnered up to develop a limited time or a limited scripted series, that's what they described it as, called The United States of America versus Vince McMahon. And the series will basically focus on the infamous trial that happened where Vince was accused of allegedly giving make sure we have allegedly here giving steroids to WWE talent, and there was the big trial and he was acquitted for it in the 90s, and it's clearly going to be biased towards Vince. but it's being made, so we have that to look forward to. To be fair, it could be quite good, but we'll wait and see. Next up, new Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer has been released, and the movie will be releasing in November. Not much else to say about that. We've already had a trailer from this earlier in the year, so this is the follow-up trailer for it. Jodie Whittaker will be stepping down as Doctor Who, alongside showrunner Chris Chibnall, who is very divisive among the Doctor Who fandom, and this will occur in not October, or maybe, but autumn 2022, in I think they said 3-part special episode series thing. So we have that to look forward to, I guess. I stopped watching Doctor Who for the previous season, so I have no idea. I watched Jodie Whittaker's first season, didn't really care that much, thought the writing was a bit crappy, so I'm glad Chris Chibnall's leaving, just so we can have a fresh set of eyes on the product. And my last thing, Bob Odenkirk, who you may know from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, collapsed on the set of Better Call Saul due to a heart attack and was taken to hospital. Well, they said a heart-related incident, but it's reported to be a heart attack. It's said that he's stable and he's recovering right now. As a big fan of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, this is, well, I would say it's devastating, but he's okay, it looks like. So yeah, it's just a terrible event, and I hope he recovers and is back to work soon. But yeah, that's all my TV and movie news.
Yeah, just got a couple of extra ones. Ant-Man and the Wasp has started shooting. With Quantumania, which is the new one coming out. I'm just going to check if we have an actual release date.
We do,
for
I think.
It. Just 2023 is the year, and it's February 2023, so still a little while to wait on that, about a year and a half. But they've started filming now, so kind of what you'd expect of how long it would take. It's obviously still got to do all the filming, all the editing, put it all together. And also, what was that on Disney is that Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over the release of Black Widow, as she's claiming that it breaches her contract, as she's citing a lot of income due to the fact that the film was released both in cinemas and streaming at the same time, and that her income from the film was based on box office performance of the film. Don't really have much more information on the case and which way it's likely to go, but just so you're aware that that's now taking place. So it'll be interesting to see how Disney kind of respond to this, and if they'll follow up with a sequel film now, or if this might cut ties with her to the end of Black Widow as we know it.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen the Black Widow movie, but supposedly Florence Pugh will be the new Black Widow going forward. So I'm not surprised there. But should we give opinions on this? Is it okay to give opinions on this legal situation?
I assume so.
Okay,
but neither are lawyers. But...
This is an alleged opinion. It might be true. I might be saying this, or I might not be. I was rudely interrupted. But anyway, alleged opinion, like we were saying, about Black Widow. Oh my god, about Black Widow. Not Black Widow. About this case. Sorry. This is probably the only time you'll hear me say this, but I'm kind of on the side of Disney here. For the simple fact that Scarlett Johansson, she's not missing out on much money though, is she? Really, realistically, come on,
yeah.
How much money is she
probably
making?
Still made a fair amount of this.
Yeah, and simply we're in a time where it's just COVID related. The film was delayed by a year, already killed the hype. They needed to get this film out, and all right, she signed this contract. Sure, she'll probably get the compensations, so it doesn't really matter what I say. But I think it's a little bit petty considering everyone's having hard times. Everyone's like just wants a movie to watch, so they put it out on Disney Plus. Still have to pay for it, but now she's suing because of that case. And I get it; she's not suing because it went out. She's suing because she's not getting the money that she thinks owed to her because it came out. And it's one of those 50. I think she should get the money, but at the same time, I think it's still a bit petty. But I don't know the full situation, so I'm not gonna continue on with that. But I think we're done with TV and movie unless you got anything else.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. What we doing? We're doing sport last, so we'll do gaming. I only have one gaming thing, so I'll say it, and then if you have anything else, we'll go from there.
Yeah, off you go then.
Okay, the PlayStation Plus games were leaked and then revealed, and they are not very good, and people were not very happy with them. So the three games are Hunter's Arena Legends, which is the PS5 only game. I'll be honest, I don't know much about it, except that it looks average. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville speaks for itself. And Tennis World Tour 2. So I don't need to tell you how
disappointing games.
I don't need to tell you how disappointing that is. I'm pretty sure you're aware. But I mean, if you're an Xbox fan, you're probably used to that. No.
Yeah, I was just about to say we have the Xbox ones as well, and they're not much better.
Yeah.
So we have Darksiders.
Darksiders good.
Yuka and Laylee. Lost Planet 3.
Lost Planet's good.
And EDN 3.
I think the problem with Xbox is that most of these games were already free. I remember Lost Planet being free a long time ago.
Sorry, I can't sort the name of the last one. Oh, finally, Garu, Mark of the Wolves.
Because Darksiders has been free, I think, before. And so has Lost Planet, but I might be wrong. It might be Lost Planet 2 that was free, but that was years ago. That was a very long time ago.
Yeah, Marvin, because obviously they now do 2 Xbox One, well, I suppose Series X now, and 2 360 games. So this is Lost Planet 3 is one of the 360 games. So it may have been previously and they brought it back, or it could have been a previous one.
Yeah. So both consoles are disappointing. Xbox still have Game Pass. PlayStation still has PS Now and the PlayStation Plus collection on PS5. So, I mean, they're both doing alright. I think people really shit on PlayStation a lot, considering they're, other than this month, they're consistently putting out good PlayStation Plus games, and they have a decent collection of free games. Like, their biggest games are free for the most part. Like, you got your God of Wars, Last of Us, both free on PlayStation Plus collection. So if you didn't know that, pick it up if you got a PS5, play them. But yeah, any other gaming news?
While we're talking about PS5s, obviously they're quite known for not having much storage. These PS5s, less than a terabyte. So you may be looking to expand your storage. Seagate are quite a big company that deal with storage. So they've come out with some PS5 compatible SSDs. However, if you're not looking to break the bank, I would look away because they're not the cheapest. So they range from 500 gigabytes all the way up to 4 terabytes. The cheapest, being the 500 gigabytes, starts at $150 for an extra 500 gigabytes of space. And the most expensive, the 4 terabyte, of $1,000.
What?
Well, it's $999.99, so effectively $1,000 for 4 terabytes of storage space.
They're taking the piss, right?
You might as well buy 2 extra PS5s.
I think Sony can. I think whereas Seagate. I think Seagate could legally get sued for that. How bad that is. What?
Yeah, the other two, I'm not sure exactly on the sizes of them. I would assume 1 and 2 terabytes make most sense. They're $255, well, $254.99 and $514.99. So they're not the cheapest.
The bad thing is, I really need hard drive space on my PlayStation 5. Just Call of Duty takes up the whole thing by itself. So,
But remember, these are SSDs. You can just get an external hard drive, would be a lot cheaper. Obviously, there might be
there's
slightly slower loading
issues
times, but
with
yeah,
external hard drives. I think the next update that's coming out for people that are using PlayStation Beta will allow people to use external hard drives, but apparently it's such a big mess right now. I haven't read everything about it, but it's going to be such a mess. And people are like, how are Sony struggling so much with this when Xbox have done it perfectly? And that's something you've got to give credit to Xbox for. Their storage system is amazing. Definitely.
And they also gave you more storage on the console itself.
So Sony really need to pull their fingers out their asses on this one, I think.
Especially because even you talk about Warzone, but it's just games in general are getting so much bigger that as soon as you've done an update, they take up so much space that you only be able to fit four or five games on a console, if that. So if you want something like Warzone, and then let's say you want the most up-to-date Call of Duty, so you go with Cold War on there as well, and something like GTA maybe, that's taking up a lot of your space that you don't really have much space for anything else then left on the console.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment. And storage spaces in general just need to get bigger on the consoles to start with, because games are only going to get bigger. And just only having a terabyte just unfortunately isn't enough these days anymore. It used to be, and you'd fit so much on there, but it's just not anymore.
Yeah, is yours a terabyte? I don't know if mine's a terabyte or 500 gig.
PS5s aren't a terabyte.
They're 500 gig, aren't they?
No, they're with 800 and something. They're just under a terabyte.
Yeah, but a lot of that is system.
System storage. It's about 500. Yeah, so you don't have a lot of space on there at all.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because, like, Black Ops Cold War alone is nearly 200 gigabytes, maybe even 200. I don't know.
And that's even after they started bringing some updates where you can take off packs you don't need anymore.
Yeah.
It's reducing the size as you're updating it, but you need the space in the first place to do the update to then reduce the size. So it's a bit of a nightmare.
I just downloaded, I think, Final Fantasy 14, which was only about 40 gigabytes, maybe, with all the expansions, like it's 40 gigabytes, and that's an MMO. So Call of Duty being over 200 gigabytes, and this isn't Warzone, this is just Black Ops Cold War. It's ridiculous. It's such a joke. And Activision have their own problems right now. We won't go on the lawsuit, but if you have any interest in finding out about what's going on with Activision Blizzard right now and all of the controversies surrounding the mistreatment of women, misogyny within the company, go look it up on the internet. We won't go through it. It's not really something we like to focus on, and we don't recommend you play any Activision games. You will, that's fine. We probably will. It's the way of life, but I don't support anything they've been doing, and I won't spend any money and for a while on them. Not that I do anyway. But yeah, there we go. Gaming done, I think. Are we done?
Quite.
No? Okay.
I'm going to shock you, Jimmy. I'm going to shock you.
Where are we going?
Because I have wrestling news in the form of gaming wrestling news of the AEW champion Kenny Omega has provided an update on an upcoming AEW game.
He has.
Ooh.
I didn't want to put this in here because I thought we'd be talking about wrestling too much, but yeah, go on.
He's come out and said that the game's looking for a 2022 release, that the game is taking inspiration from classics like WWF No Mercy, and its developers Ukes that are behind the project. Mm-hmm. He's come out and said that they're not fully there yet. They're working a lot on the character models that aren't fully there yet. They're still working on individual character movesets being implemented. But everything's come out and said it's being positive, and it'll be quite interesting to see how it shapes up compared to the 2K games. Obviously, they took a break with wrestling 2K and last year, so they should be coming back this year with a new game. So it'll be very interesting to see how they shape up against each other and what 2K have done in the year out to improve their game, and if AEW can get anywhere near that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, wrestling's been pretty good itself recently. After the whole everyone coming back, all the live crowds, AEW's been on good form. They had 3 pretty much special shows in a row. This week was Fight for the Fallen, and the main event was Nick Gage, who a lot of indie people might know. He's the man who robbed an actual bank, and went to prison for 5 years, and came back and pretty much was doing deathmatch wrestling. He was in a main event with Chris Jericho, and there was a lot of blood. It was a good main event. But yeah, it's nice to see AEW getting a game. It's nice to see WWE coming back. Hopefully for the better. Hopefully this is a better game. But yeah, that's all. Anything else?
Yes, we're still not done. We have a couple more.
Oh my god.
I've come prepared this week, Jimmy.
I have not. For the last podcast, you came prepared.
Finishing off in a big show. Pokemon Snap's getting its first lot of free DLC next week.
Ooh.
It will include 3 new areas, including both day and night, and 20 new Pokemon to photograph, which I think is a bit lackluster for saying it's 3 new areas. Yeah, it does obviously seem that a lot of Pokemon will be repeated in these new areas if you're only getting 20 new.
I mean,
new
it's
ones,
free,
but
so
yeah, it is free, as you said. The new areas are Mighty Wide River, which takes place on a ride downstream, placing focus on water Pokemon, as you'd expect. The Barren Wilderness features the Badlands of Valuka Island, with an emphasis on ground, poison, and fire types. And the final area is the secret side path of Florio Island Nature Park, which shrinks the Neo 1 to a tiny size, making Pokemon found there appear gigantic.
I mean,
so
that's
something
cool.
different there. The announcement did come with a 2-minute trailer, which showcased some of the new areas, and also brought in a lot of pictures that have been taken in game by people in real life that are shown off as well.
Cool.
But apart from that, that's all we're really getting for this update. It's not a huge amount, but as I said, it is free.
I mean, I haven't been back to play it since like second week of it coming out. Not because it's bad, just because I completely forgot. So that'd probably get me to dive back in.
For people who have been playing it a lot, they probably have completed the game by now. So at least it now gives them 3 new areas to explore, some more Pokemon temperature. So it's now adding to people being able to go back to the game. And the final one I have is that there are reports this week that FIFA may be following the structure that we mentioned about PES last week, or should I say eFootball now, it's no longer Pre-Evolution Soccer, that they may be going to a free model with effectively microtransactions for different parts of the game. Yeah, we've spoken about this before. Although it's at first it seemed like a great concept of, it's free, it's very likely that it will be riddled with so many extra payments that you may have to pay for new leagues, new teams, different game modes. So it might be a case of, what will probably happen is that you'll probably have kickoff mode that's free. You can play that with so many teams, and you'll probably have to then pay for Ultimate Team. You have to pay for career mode, pay for Volta, pay for Pro Clubs, and what will probably end up happening is that it will seem good, because if you're just a career mode player, maybe it will cost you only £10 to unlock career mode. But if you're someone who plays all of these modes, so will play Ultimate Team, will do career mode, will want to do pro clubs, everything, if you're having to pay for everything, those smaller transactions will probably end up costing you more than the game currently does now for a full game. Not to then mention they'll definitely keep their Ultimate Team layout of microtransactions, where it's heavily, if you want to do well in that game mode, you will need to buy FIFA points for packs, etc. So it seems good on the surface, but it's probably one will end up costing you more in the long run.
I hate it. I don't think it will happen. Personally, I don't think so. Pez, I think, would fit it because it's not as popular as it used to be. And Konami, it's just the type of game they'd make. So I don't mind Pez doing it, but FIFA's a bit more of a... FIFA has all of this stuff. It's so popular. Why would you break that formula? You already make so much money from it. Like, I feel like if they do it, it's very reactionary to what Pez is doing, and I think it'd be a mistake by EA in the long run. Especially if, like, you'll get people there who will realise that this is going to cost more than it would for me to buy the whole game. So why would I buy it separately, you know? And I would assume if they're going to do it, they're going to do it where you can just buy the whole game anyway. Like, you'll get kickoff free anyway, but if you're going to buy it, you'll buy it anyway, and it'll be cheaper overall, which I think is a bit scummy, but it is EA, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah.
So while I'm talking about FIFA, we did also get today, in fact, the trailer for FIFA 22, which is being released on the 1st of October. They just mainly show off their new hypermotion gameplay technology. In basic terms, it's basically more motion capture, where they're able to add, they're claiming 4,000 new animations, so coming to player movement, how they pass the ball, how they react to a certain situation, those sort of things. It's just to make it a bit more realistic on player movements. So it's not, and probably more realistic to each player. They've done it in recent years where there's a select few players that they've had a lot of motion capture work on, so they can actually get them to run like they do in real life. So it looks like that's going to be the main thing for that. Just looking over the notes as well, there seem to be some extra basically settings you can turn on off, with kind of like along the lines of the sliders, I believe. But you can turn off like agile dribbling, automatic clearances, auto flare pass, auto shots, things like that. How much of a difference it'll make to the actual game, I'm not really sure. Because obviously, if you're someone who plays a lot, you'll probably be doing those sort of things manually anyway. So I can't really see much changing in that aspect of it. But it does seem they are working towards trying to make the game as realistic as possible. So we'll just have to see how it is when you actually get a hold of the game and how it feels.
Well, from gaming sports to real sports, I've got a couple things. I don't know, do you have any separate things, or are we just leading straight into
just the obvious Formula 1 one.
Okay, well we'll leave that for last. Then I'll just go through. I've got a couple Manchester United things because that's all that's been talked about apparently this week. Solskjaer has signed a contract to stay at Manchester United until 2024, with an option to extend for an additional year. Manchester United and Real Madrid have reached an agreement on the signing of Rafael Varane. Great, awesome as a United fan. And he was relatively cheap for a World Cup winner and someone who's only 28. I think it was like 50 million plus add-ons, possibly, which isn't too bad, considering the current climate. And John Terry has departed as assistant head coach at Aston Villa. I don't really know many details about that, but yes, that's a thing that happened. There was the whole Wayne Rooney scandal, which I won't go into detail because I don't know which side is in the right or not. But apparently he was at a party, some girls took some pictures of him while he was sleeping, and it turned into a whole blackmail thing. But I saw that they apparently sold him back the rights to the photos for like £1 or something. And I don't know if it's gone any further than that. He's apologised in an interview to the fans and to his family. And I feel like he's been stitched up a little, but I don't know if there's anything more to it. If he has done anything like he has done in the past, then obviously he's in the wrong. But yeah, that's all my news. Formula One time.
Yeah, just a quick one that going back a couple of weeks now, we had incident at the British Grand Prix where Hamilton put Max Verstappen out of the race. Incident at Copse Corner. At the time, Hamilton was given a 10-second penalty during the race. However, he was still able to come back through the field due to a red flag being able to allow him to make some repairs to his car to come through and win the race. Teams are allowed to appeal the penalties if they are able to bring new evidence that could suggest that the penalty given was not harsh enough. Red Bull did that, and it has come out today that basically their appeal has been rejected. Yeah, it has been 2 weeks of Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, and Max Verstappen just being whinging little fucks, moaning the entire time.
It's funny as well because I didn't mind Red Bull, and then this happened, and it just instantly made me hate them. Like I was like, oh, Verstappen could win the Drivers' Championship, that's cool. But now I'm like, I genuinely want him to lose every race now because it's just so petty, it's so whiny. There was also like Verstappen being very like, oh, you don't celebrate waving your flag around when someone's in the hospital. Mate, you went into the hospital as a precaution. You didn't go there because you were injured. A. Secondly, wasn't there an incident, I forgot who it was, but someone got sent to the hospital and Verstappen was celebrating at the same time. I don't know if he won the race and he was celebrating. So it's very I don't know who it was. It might have been Gasly or Grosjean or someone. It was a G, I believe. But yeah, there was like an instant where that happened. It was just very like hypocritical of him, and everyone was making excuses saying, "Oh, Verstappen didn't cause the accident for that." This accident was so 50-50 anyway that Verstappen probably caused half of it anyway, and he wasn't even that injured. He went there as a precaution. They have to go to the hospital. If they've been in a crash like that, they have to go. You know, was Hamilton meant to be moody when he got there and just say, yeah, cheers, thanks, bye, in his home country?
And the thing I'd also compare it to as well is obviously last year you had the incident with Grosjean where he did almost die. He was caught in a fire. Sergio Perez still celebrated a win there, and he was in hospital at the time.
That's exactly the same thing, and it's Red Bull as well. Like you can't. I'm triggered. Don't worry, I don't want.
Yeah. Anyway, the case was for the case, the stewards would have to deem, or for the case to be overturned so that a harsh penalty was given, the stewards would have to deem that the new evidence being brought by Red Bull was new, significant, and relevant, and that had been discovered rather than created, and unavailable at the time of the decision. However, basically, the evidence that was brought forward was pretty much GPS data to show where the cars were at the time during the corners, and brought in evidence also of comparing it to the move that Hamilton made on Leclerc at the same corner later in the race to take the win. Basically trying to claim or stating that Hamilton was wider on the corner in the Verstappen incident than it was in the Leclerc one, so he had the room to get round the corner, but he chose to go wider and run into Verstappen. However, the stewards rejected this, saying that the GPS data submissions were created based on evidence that was available at the time of the decision. So they had that in the first place for the original penalty decision on what they're going to give to him. So it doesn't make a difference at all. So the 10-second penalty from the race still stands. The race result still stands, and no further action will be taken, thankfully, on decision, because there's no need. It did really seem that Red Bull was trying to get Hamilton banned from a race or some.
They just didn't. Obviously, they just wanted the points. That's all. They wanted the points taken off. They would try anything.
They just wanted to somehow limit the points Hamilton was going to get, as he's now made a huge indent into Verstappen's lead. It's like 8 points now heading into Hungary this weekend, and Mercedes are very much known for really powering through the end of the season and being able to pick up a lot more points than earlier on in the season, which I think Red Bull are probably a bit worried of.
Yeah, in my opinion, the only thing that should happen or should have happened was it was either called a racing incident or they did what they did and Hamilton still won the race. That in no way should Hamilton have been penalised more. It was accidental. It was a 50-50 to a lot of people anyway. A lot of the pundits, a lot of people around it were saying it was a racing incident. Even I think I forgot who it was on TV at the time. Team leader possibly for Aston Martin said it was a racing incident.
Schaffnauser.
I believe so. I don't remember. It was on TV 2 weeks ago.
It was on
yeah.
So I think the main thing that comes of it is people seem to have deemed that the penalty wasn't harsh enough retrospectively, that because Hamilton still went on to go and win the race, they then turned and said the penalty wasn't harsh enough. Had Leclerc managed to hold on and Hamilton didn't win the race, I guarantee a lot of people wouldn't have said anything. But that's not saying that the penalty's too harsh. It just shows that how good of a driver Hamilton is, that he was able to have that incident, have some damage on his car. Admittedly, the repairs were able to be made under the red flag. But despite having the 10-second penalty, he was still then able to come back through the field and then retake the lead. Again, admittedly with some help of team orders that Bottas didn't hold him up at all, but he had to be in the position to do that. That you can't turn and say the penalty isn't harsh enough because he still won the race after he's won the race, because you have to make the decision in real time. And if the rules say it's a 10-second penalty, it's a 10-second penalty. You can't then just turn and go, oh, well, it should have been harsher just because it effectively didn't affect him because he was still able to win the race, but obviously it did. So
yeah, they're acting like petulant children, and I'm glad they didn't get their way. But anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on to our last topic of the podcasts for now, episode 50. The Olympics. I'll read off the medal list and then we'll go into detail with what GB has won. We're not going to take too long on this. We haven't really got much to talk about. It's not even the first week over with yet. So
as of tomorrow, when this comes out, it will be. But
yeah,
of the open ceremony.
So China is sitting pretty at the top with 31 medals. They have 15 golds, 7 silvers, and 9 bronzes. Japan second. They have 25 medals. They also have 15 golds. They have 4 silvers and 6 bronzes. Obviously, they are the host nation. This is one of their best performances in the Olympics. They do
get a free entry into every event.
Yeah.
Whereas other nations have to qualify. So that is why Japan will have quite a high medal tally, the same as Great Britain did at London 2012, and Brazil were higher than usual in Rio. They just have more opportunities.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, the United States, sitting with the most medals combined, but in third place. They have 38 medals altogether. They have 14 golds, 14 silvers, and 10 bronzes. It's likely the United States will win it. They do win most years. Either them or China most of the time.
Luck in the swimming pool this year, where they do usually pick up a lot of medals. They've not been as dominant this year, but I imagine they will. When the athletics events start coming through for medals, they'll probably pick up quite a few there.
Yeah, the ROC, it's the Russian Olympic Committee, I believe it stands for.
Yeah, correct. As they cannot be under the actual Russian flag because of previous doping scandals.
Fun times. But they are sitting at 28 medals. Very good year for them so far. 8 golds, 11 silvers, and 9 bronzes. They did take the gold in the women's gymnastics team event, the one that Simone Biles initially dropped out of partway through. And yeah, they took gold there. The United States took silver, and GB got a shock bronze. Didn't expect it at all. They were sitting at like 5th or 6th for a lot of it, and then came back in the last set of I don't remember what you call them, but yeah, the last few apparatus things. But yeah, awesome, cool. And GB. Australia, sorry. This table is very biased. Australia sitting at 5th with 8 gold medals. They have 2 silvers and 10 bronzes, and they have 20 medals overall. And then we have Great Britain, who are sitting at 5 golds, 7 silvers, and 6 bronzes, with a total of 18. I won't go any further. We're still only a week in. But what has GB won so far? If you have that.
Yeah, I do. So we have a bronze in the artistic gymnastics, won by Morgan and Kinsella. We have a silver in the canoe slalom, which is won today by Mallory Franklin. We have a gold in the men's 10-meter platform synchronized diving, which is won by Tom Daly and Matt Lee. Tom Daly finally getting a gold medal on his 4th attempt. At the
taken
Olympics.
him 13 years, I think they said.
Correct.
Something like that. But yeah, insane. It's good to see him get a gold finally. Well deserved. He's been one of the most, I think, highlighted or well-known Olympic athletes in recent memory. So yeah, it's good to actually see him.
And there was also amazing diving performance. They only beat the Chinese, I think, by less than a point in the end. So it was really close and came down to the last dive that there was no idea of who was going to win it until the judges gave their points. It could have easily gone either way.
Yeah.
So we have 2 bronzes in equestrian, in the individual dressage and the team dressage. We have a bronze in the women's 52 kilograms judo, a gold in the men's cross-country mountain biking, a silver for the men's quadruple sculls in rowing, a bronze in the men's trap for shooting. The pool in the swimming is our most success. So in the 100-meter breaststroke, Adam Peaty became the first British athlete to defend an Olympic gold medal. So he's won it in Rio and here. Double success in the men's 200-meter freestyle, where Tom Dean and Duncan Scott got gold and silver. And they won again with a gold in the men's 4x200-meter freestyle relay, which was won yesterday. We have 2 silvers and a bronze in Taekwondo in the men's 68 kilograms, the women's 67, and the women's 67 plus kilogram category is the bronze, and 2 silvers in both in the triathlon, 1 for men's, 1 for women's.
Well, not much else we can say for now. Like we said, it's only been a week, well, less than a week from recording date. So, yeah. So it's a bittersweet moment, Sean. It is a bittersweet moment, isn't it, Sean?
It is.
We're going to be saying goodbye to the podcast for now. We'll be back with any videos we need to make for big videos. We might do one soon for the start of the Premier League. Undecided. We'll see for that. We might do some more if anything big comes out, any big news we can talk about. But you'll be seeing a lot more of us in the form of gaming videos. Spoiler alert, we finally have a good race in the upcoming set of videos. So just hold on tight, please. Just give us the chance, and
just hold on. We're gonna get points.
Yes, we're gonna get a lot of points as well. Spoiler alert. The editing has killed me today, but let's hope it's worth it. But yeah, we have been your hosts. My name is Jimmy, that is Sean, and we'll see you next time.